right. So, welcome back to
Well-Behaved Women.
There you go. Go ahead. Say it.
Well-Behaved Women.
There you go. That's the show. We're here.
My question, as always, will they or won't they be?
So I saw a post today that was kind of one of those montages of like all the Tinder profiles, and they have well-behaved women don't make history. Or never make history or something like that. And it's all these girls that are all standing in front of it, like all on their Tinder profiles, saying like, I'm not like other girls. So it's totally making fun of it, but I'm like, you know what's even sadder is it's wrong. It's not even the right quote.
Uh-huh.
Ugh. Okay. It's horrible.
We love a wrong quote on an Instagram, or especially a dating profile. That's the best.
Oh yeah, the dating profile. You gotta like...
Are y'all familiar?
The only correct quote that I'm going to be concerned about seeing on a dating profile is the eat your cake and have it too.
Are you familiar with Bill Burnham's Inside?
Oh, fuck it.
That line in White Woman's Instagram where it's like, a quote from Lord of the Rings incorrectly attributed to Martin Luther King.
Oh, no.
That's so, like, it's perfect.
That's
it describes it perfectly.
That's funny. All right. Figure out, when are we?
On this year in history, Croatia is divided into two sub-regions by the King of Hungary.
Dope.
German musical theorist Franco of Cologne, or Colonia, however the fuck you want to pronounce that, he publishes Ars Cantus Mensurabilis, in which he advances a new theory of musical notation in which the length of a musical note is denoted by the shape of that note, which is a system that is still used today.
Yes, music theory.
And the great Kublai Khan of the Mongol Empire, at the very height of his power, fathers a daughter. It was 1260, and the region of the Mongols had been steadily rising in influence and scope since Kublai's grandfather,
Middle Ages. Nice.
Genghis.
The Khan.
The Ghengis of Khans. He had so famously conquered all this land and pillaged all these towns. So she is
A land pirate.
He's a land pirate, and she is like the granddaughter of a fucking land pirate.
All right.
Land pirate royalty.
Well then.
Yep.
Horse Lord royalty.
Yes. And I'm gonna guess that all of this is in like it mostly takes place in Mongolia and like
probably parts of Russia,
China and Russia. Yeah.
Siberia.
In September, Mongols battled the Mamluks in Galilee, which their first decisive defeat was there at the Battle of Ain Jalut, and from that defeat, the great nation began to show its first cracks.
Okay.
Kublai had 14 sons, and Khutulun
Ouch.
was his only daughter.
Oh, he probably has multiple wives. I'm thinking this is all one wife.
Yep.
Okay, I was going to say that. Poor woman. Oof.
Yeah, these are Mongols. They famously have big wives.
Yes.
This is like kind of a pattern that you'll also see in a lot of these stories is...
Multiple wives?
Yeah. A lot of lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Lovers.
How much love is going on?
Apparently,
love makes the world go round, guys.
Apparently a ton.
Optimism hat.
So, Khutulun, right off the bat, we need to do like a little da-da-da-da-da-da so we know what she's being born into. The family tree is full of drama.
Ooh!
So we're going to do a rewind and talk about her ancestry.
Steep that
Well, when your family runs an empire, there's going to be drama.
Well, true. A little bit of a power struggle. You know how families are.
Just a bit.
Once upon a time, this guy named Genghis showed up in Mongolia, and he had big dreams.
Big Genghis dreams.
Big Genghis dreams. Through a shit ton of warring, burning homes to the ground, and in one extreme case, diverting a fucking river to take water away.
Rude.
He became the universal ruler in the vast...
Love and war, baby.
Yep. And so he became the ruler. No, he literally, like, they dug a river to divert.
A whole ass river.
Yep. Like, the landscape has changed to this day because of they fucking dug a river.
Man knows how to make a mark. He knows how to make a statement. He knows how to make an entrance. It sounds that way.
He killed so many people that it reduced the carbon footprint of the world.
Yep.
Did it?
Yeah.
They had how did they... Oh, I guess you could tell through the sediment in the soil.
Yes, there's many studies, geological studies that are like, yeah, there you go.
Oh,
people.
Shit. I don't know good for the earth, but...
It's natural process.
We were, like, kind of expecting to see a spike kind of like that at the start of the pandemic, and then there were so many places that, like, just refused to shut down, and so all of the emissions that were already happening just kept happening. It's great. It definitely went down in human consumership, but, like, business consumership stayed way high.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Well, most green taxes are just the big corporation's way of making you pay for their emissions. So it's like, what?
Dude.
All right, so he's got this vast Mongolian empire.
Yeah, and he's ruling it.
When I say vast, I mean fucking vast.
Oh, yeah.
Between 1206 and 1294, Genghis' family line ruled from the southeastern end of China, so
wow,
to the coast, up through the area we know as Mongolia and the southern third of Russia.
Whoa!
As far west as Belarus, Romania, and Ukraine.
Dude, it's so
and as far down as Iran.
Whoa!
So much land. The only area they didn't really overtake in all of Asia was Indian and then the far north of Russia, where it was too cold to fucking go anyway.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'll sound like an idiot here, but weren't the Khans like Asian Muslims as well?
The Mongols?
That's what I meant, yeah, but the Khan family specifically. But I think the Mongols are Muslim practicing.
I don't know about that.
That was like a big thing at the time too, because it was like a religion shift in the world as well.
That's an excellent thing to think about.
If I'm correct.
Because that's going to have an ideological footprint.
That's I think that's the idea. I hope I'm right about that, I'm not just talking out of my beehole.
They eventually embraced Islam as their religion after they conquered the north and east Iran. So basically, once they got to that area, then it came through.
Interesting.
So Iran was kind of the changing point for there.
And effectively converts the entire region.
Yeah. Well, it's like that. Well, because that was a big religion there at the time.
True.
And so once you tap into that market, then it flows to the rest of people, and communications are already better through this whole vast area.
Did the Mongol people have like a centralized religion for them?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, so that would.
There's a lot of tribes. There's a lot of smaller tribes that would come together, and then Genghis was like really good at getting pretty big armies, but to overtake like massive armies.
Oh, okay.
Buddhism and Christianity are the other two big religions in that region of Eastern Asia.
So he had 14 sons, and he sent them around the nation to help ensure control of the land.
Okay.
And their sons did the same thing.
The generals.
Okay.
Yep. So the sons of those sons, so the grandsons of Khutulun's...
Junior generals.
Khutulun's... Yep, basically. They got bristly, and they started fighting, so basically, like... Alright, Khutulun's dad has 14 sons. They're all state officials. They're like, alright, cool, we're running this together. Yeah. All their sons have, like, big titles, and so they're like, yeah, we understand that we're running this together. But all of their sons were like, well, we're not seeing a piece of this pie right now, and they're getting more than we are, and
peons.
Fuck them, we need to go and fight them. So then, basically, the grandsons were, like, all...
Salty.
Fighting each other.
Yeah, salty is right.
Salty.
They were salty, there you go.
Peanut butter and jealous.
So, all of these people thought that they should have more control than the other cousins and uncles.
Oh, of course.
And so by the time Khutulun was born, the empire had started to fracture, and her father was one of those people, and he was in the beginning of a war against his uncle.
Okay.
The land would never be the same, and the oversight of the little villages and large towns were going to the wayside, as they had a giant familial pissing contest throughout the whole fucking nation. Like,
great.
My land's better. No, mine's bigger.
Well, get out your measuring stick and let's find out.
Get you out your measuring dick.
The measuring dick. Who's got the 12-incher?
None of them.
Alright, I guess we're having to measure in...
And let's be honest.
But we know from Genghis Khan, you don't need that much.
I was just going to say, who even wants that?
Is he not packing?
There's no way he had that big of a dick.
Okay.
There's no way.
Cannot confirm nor deny.
Just he has his optimism hat on, so.
So her father, Kaidu, he still saw good leadership as following the old ways. So basically the tribe that she was brought up with. Tradition. It was a nomadic lifestyle, and they valued riding and trapping and solving problems in small ways. So
interesting.
Let's improve by steps.
Mongolians are effectively credited with like founding hawking as we know it.
Yeah.
Yes, I did know that, and I found it fascinating.
There's a bunch of stuff. So the uncle Kublai, with whom he had most of his beef, valued politics and governing and the land through infrastructure, and it just wasn't the way things done. And so Kaidu was one of the many family members that needed to vote unanimously that the official ruler of the Mongolian Empire. All of this is they're all trying to get each other's seat. So
this is all off the record.
So the refusal to support the uncle in that became a thoroughly annoying thorn in the uncle's side.
He's just like, God,
that's fucking brats.
Yep.
Damn it.
Youths.
The youths.
Hey man, your kids are pissing me off.
Tell them to shut the fuck up. So this slap in the face led to a civil war between two sets of leaders.
Sweet.
Yep. as all good arguments between men always do.
We love a fractured cabinet.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The first 34 years of Khutulun's life, her father was commanding a war. He was the supreme ruler of the Mongol Empire at its height, when the rule had expounded as much as it possibly could. So it kind of obviously went through this huge ballooning. It has ballooned now. It's at the height. He's in charge.
There's only one way to go.
About to pop.
Yeah. There's only one way to go. Back down.
Growing up around the brothers in an old-school Mongol horde was an interesting experience for Khutulun. She followed the training of her brothers and became particularly adept at archery, riding horses, and wrestling.
Sweet. All right.
As she got better, her fights became more legendary.
Me too, girl.
Me too, girl. Yeah, my fight's not so legendary.
So for one, she was by far the fastest rider in Kaidu's army. For another, she was really fucking strong. In the middle of battles, she would go and pick up a soldier from the opposing side and bring them back across the lines.
Nice.
She's like a paramedic.
Yep. The explorer Marco Polo was with the Mongols at the time, and he described her in battle.
Sometimes she would quit her father's side and make a dash at the host of the enemy and seize some man thereout as deftly as a hawk pounces on a bird and carry him to her father, as this she did many a time.
All right.
Just, here you go.
She's just
bringing this one back.
Making an impression on the field.
She quickly became her father's most trusted advisor.
Of course.
She assisted him in strategy and helped him expand the Mongol reach to its furthest points. They made a deadly pair, and her reputation as a fierce soldier was known far and wide.
Ooh.
According to Marco Polo, so well made in all her limbs and so tall and strongly built that she might almost be taken for a giantess.
Alright, so she's tall.
Yeah, and dude's got a boner for her, for sure.
Adding that she was, quote, so strong that there was no young man in the whole kingdom who could overcome her, but she vanquished them all.
Marco Polo's creaming his little Spanish pants.
Oh,
yeah,
truly.
he was just, shaking in the corner thinking.
No doubt.
He needs a good protective woman who can just, take care of him in the wild.
Yeah, he wants someone to sweep him off his feet.
He's like a Lord Farquaad.
He wants to be a little spoon, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah. I get it.
Every man wants to be a little spoon every once in a while.
Makes you feel safe.
I'm not supposed to tell.
We all know.
I know.
Everybody knows now.
We call it koala bearing.
You just all talk about it.
Oh, I just mean in this house.
Oh, okay.
Is it koala bear time yet?
Yeah.
So Khutulun was basically a princess, and at some point she got to be that lovely age all of us women dream of. She was
16?
Old enough to get married.
Oh shit, how old is that here? Oh god, is it 12?
The age
Don't
show
be
is dreamed of. Tell me.
Don't.
Scoreboard says.
They never actually say.
Oh, damn.
They don't actually say. At the time, daughters were married off for diplomatic reasons, and they were viewed in terms of their worth for village relations.
Of course.
Imagine she's already like a war general at 12 getting married off.
I really thought it was like, oh god, it's 12. Because in Europe, they were just
Some
marrying
Game of
girls
Thrones
off
type
at 12.
shit. Where's her dragon? Somebody show me.
Where's your dragon?
So, they were not in the custom of being allowed to choose their own husbands.
Of course.
Yeah.
Even though men could choose their wives.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's how it's always been, and it's not fair.
Yep.
Still?
Well, I mean,
in a lot of places, yeah.
In some countries, yes.
I know.
But not here, no.
So not only that, but Mongol men were allowed multiple wives and a harem of concubines.
Sweet.
She would have been one of possibly dozens of women to her husband, and she didn't feel that was fair.
Well, yeah. She's a princess.
Yeah.
I want my own concubines, damn it.
Yeah. If you want a harem, I get a harem.
Bingo.
If you get a harem, I get a harem.
Yeah, that's the rights we're looking for.
That's what we're talking about.
Harem rights.
Equal concubines for all.
Her brothers got to choose their partners. Why couldn't she? Further, if she was married and made to have children, she would have been kept from the battlefield. And you can't really ride, those front battle lines like you can when you're not 8 months pregnant.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, she suggested to her father that any man to best her at wrestling could be your husband.
Nice.
She's like, if they can beat me, I'll marry him. So her dad says,
a girl who wants someone to challenge her in bed.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And so her dad agreed.
Okay.
And he sent out an edict. Anyone who wants to marry Khutulun
It's kind of creepy how involved he is, but I agree. It's cool.
Well,
This is
he was
amazing.
basically going to choose her husband for her.
I know.
So, okay, she's got a say in it now. That's fine. So he sent out an edict. If you want to marry Khutulun, you bring 100 horses to the family home, and then she'll wrestle you. And if the suitor wins, he can marry Khutulun.
100 horses, huh?
And if Khutulun won, she and her family got to keep the 100 horses.
That's quite a ransom.
And this is a nomadic people in these grasslands where horses are a big deal.
It's a shitload of horses.
That'd be like, give me 100 cars.
There's so many horses.
Yeah.
But this was like the 13th century version of going viral. Suitors came from every corner of the empire and beyond for the opportunity to wrestle with her.
I mean, that would totally go viral today.
It totally would.
It absolutely would.
And
Do you have 100 horses? Come on down to Mongolia.
You can marry my daughter.
Here's the princess.
There's one guy from Florida willing to do it.
I think there's more than one.
There might be. Florida's a little crazy.
So in exchange for 100 horses in a wrestling match.
Right, so this isn't even the wrestling that we see today. It's not matched out by gender or weight class. Anyone of any size could wrestle anyone else of any other
UFC
size.
rules.
Yeah.
The rules are there are no rules.
Go!
Right. We know that she was kind of...
She's bigger than the average woman. She's tall.
I mean, we assume.
That's what it sounds like.
I guess for her height, but
all we really know is that she was taller than Marco Polo. That's really...
He's a tiny guy.
And that's what we do all of our height standards by. How many Marco Polos tall are you?
It's the only fact I heard.
He was 3 Rodolfos tall.
Rodolfos.
Give me a metric.
So did you guys see that? Like, there was like a big sea turtle that got discovered, and they finally pieced it together. And there was this guy that worked on the project, and his name was Rodolfo, and he was like, he was there by the turtle shell, and he was like 1 Rodolfo tall. So Rodolfo was the scale.
Nice.
That's funny.
So she is, it doesn't really matter what her height is or what her weight is or whatever. She just, anyone can come and wrestle her. But she was famous for being undefeated.
Nice!
So the suitors came, they brought their horses, some brought large groups of people with them, or huge numbers of servants to sweeten the deal.
Amazing.
They showed up, and she beat them. 100 horses from this guy, 100 horses from that guy, and on and on.
Do we get to keep the horses even if they lose?
She's building wealth.
No.
Like, is the are the horses like the entry? Is that the entry fee?
It's the cover fee.
Yes,
you're not guaranteed to keep these horses. Like, this
no,
is
it's the inn. So like, you're gonna come and you're gonna wrestle my daughter, but the entry fee is 100 horses to me. So you pay me 100 horses, and then if you beat her, you get to marry her. But if you lose, I get to keep your 100 horses.
No.
It's a lot of damn horses.
It's a lot of damn horses.
Mm-hmm. Too many.
So one dude.
Not for an army on horseback.
Yeah, and
it's like saying we'll give you 100 tanks. Done.
All right.
You got it.
I take them.
Mm-hmm.
I just Airbnb out every tank.
Yeah, there you go.
Capitalism.
Rent them to other countries.
Oh, God. That would be dangerous.
So one dude, we really don't know his name, so I'm just going to call him Steve.
Okay, Steve.
Steve shows up one day. Steve shows up one day with 1,000 horses and a bunch of servants.
No, this seems like hyperbole.
His arrival is much rumored, and when he shows up, he's actually this really fucking good-looking guy. Like, he's real handsome. And so before the match, Kaidu kind of takes her aside and he's like, okay, this dude shows up really committed to this wager. He's bought it all in. He's a super nice guy, and he's actually pretty good looking. So, like, you'd be happy with Steve.
Maybe you don't have to wrestle him.
Oh,
maybe
they
you
want her to
lose the match.
lose?
Like, just lose the match. That's fine.
No!
Throw the match! Throw the match!
Fuck no, he needs to be better!
Take a dive!
Khutulun?
For Mongolia!
For Mongolia!
Khutulun agrees.
Okay.
At this point, people don't think she'll ever get married.
It's all fixed.
So they get to the match, and they start wrestling, and the whole town shows up to watch. This is the match. Like, the match.
I'd be pissed if I bet money on this.
I know.
She's finally going to lose, and they'll get married, and the fight lasts a really long time, much longer than any other. People are writing stories about it. Seasons are changing. Things are flying off the walls. It's crazy. And with each passing hour, the crowds get more and more certain of her impending defeat. Like, he's going to beat her.
Stop you right there. Seasons are changing? That's somebody... Oh, no. I was going to say, that's somebody in the background doing dramatics. Like snow, like full white rice.
They're running through the backgrounds of the set. Just cranking it through.
Yeah, that's
a
nice. I knew it was a joke, but in my mind, I'm like, I've got to make this real.
That's exactly what I'm picturing. Is like, you're cranking through that like set background of
the sun is
night and day, and seasons changing, and someone's throwing leaves from the background. Yeah,
that's where I wanted to go with that. Thank you.
Right, night and day, all of these things. So she looks real tired, and this guy is like super fucking strong. But then she got him right where she wanted him and body slammed the fucker to the ground. Oof! She was never defeated in the wrestling world. Woo! Through her suitors, her family ended up with 10,000 horses.
Nice.
Which means that at least 100 men that she wrestled and beat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least...
She is fit.
At least 99.
99 men.
She got 99 problems, but
she got 1,000.
But a man ain't one.
So
Yeah,
at least,
man ain't one.
Not 99, at least.
Mm-hmm. I love her for this.
So there were a lot of rumors about why she didn't want to get married. Why can't she just settle and be a good girl and spit out lots of little baby Mongols? And
What fun is that?
That's not what
that's
she
the life
wants.
you need. But she didn't want to get married.
No.
And she didn't want babies, and she didn't want to lose her high command or of the fucking Continental Army at that point. Like, she rules the goddamn nation, or the trust of her father. So it either had to be that she was a lesbian, she was in love with her cousin, but wasn't allowed to marry him, so she said, fuck it, if I can't marry him, I won't marry anyone, to deal with the heartbreak, or she was in an incestual relationship with her father.
Oh! Those were the 3 things they came up with?
This is like, people are freaking out, and so they're like, we gotta figure, I mean, there's only 3 options.
Yeah, those are the only 3
Those are the only 3 options.
Because she can't have a mind of her own, no.
Correct. It is impossible that she could just not want that.
Exactly.
Everybody wants this.
Could you not want this?
It depends on
Fucking crazy for not wanting this. So the last rumor exploded. It probably was started by one of the soldiers who saw her in her father's tent on the battleground.
Gross.
Oh, no.
Whatever the actual reason, when the rumors about her and her father started coming out in full force, she realized basically that the only way to fix the damage in reputation at this point would be to actually get married. So she did, but her marriages were really, like, not with any of the men that she ever wrestled. We have maybe a handsome guy who failed to assassinate her father and then was taken prisoner. Or maybe her father's companion from a different clan. Or maybe Rashid al-Din, who wrote that Khutulun fell in love with Ghazan, the Mongol ruler in Persia. So, 3 different things.
We should Mamma Mia this and get them all together.
Yep.
Where's Pierce Brosnan?
Dance on piers, confront them, grow up a little bit, and find yourself.
Go to Greece.
Yeah, find some self-love.
Let's go to Greece.
Yep.
Let's do it.
So, in 1924, the war between her father and her uncle finally ended. The fractured lands of Mongolia would never be the same and officially had set itself up into 4 major factions, and it had started compressing back. It no longer included Romania, Belarus, or Turkey.
Okay.
None of these lands existed at the time, just
right.
This is where they
just
were.
for reference, yeah.
So in 1301, Ghengis Kahn, her father, he fell ill, and he gathered his 14 sons and singular daughter to his side, and he expressed to them that he trusted Khutulun most of all of his children, and he regretted not putting her in charge of the clan far sooner. His soldiers revered her and respected her, and she was the most worthy of the position, and he wished he could put her in charge.
Oh, he said this in front of everybody.
On his
This
deathbed.
was absolutely
As he's
unfair.
about to say,
I'm gonna
but... because it's custom.
Yeah.
She was just a woman, but at the time in their culture, inheritance from the father was not automatically given to the eldest. It was given to the strongest.
Ah.
Here we go with the wrestling again. Let's go.
Khutulun was definitely the
This
strongest.
is some Dragon Ball Z shit.
I would absolutely. Yeah, there
Absolutely.
you go.
Wrestling tournament on my deathbed. Go. I must witness the winner.
For my honor.
No, she just knew. All the brothers were kind of wimps compared to her.
Yeah.
Oh, we
she
didn't even
wouldn't
try.
have, they wouldn't have won.
Well, she had 100 matches, and how many? Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, it only takes one.
Only takes one.
The brothers hated this. Kaidu had no mechanisms in place to ensure that she would be the next ruler, so when he died, 2 of the brothers, Chapar and Dua, challenged her right to rule and refused to support her. One of the brothers, named Oris, took over. In exchange for her continued command of the military, she supported Oris as leader. So basically, she had to give up her throne and basically was like, alright, well, if I say that you're the leader, can I at least have command of my, battalion?
Or just keep doing what I've been doing. You're going to have the title.
Yeah, I don't care. So after that, Khutulun fell into obscurity. While some accounts have her peacefully dying a few years later, other accounts say that eventually her brothers had enough of her and assassinated her.
Oh, okay, very different.
Either way, her name quickly fell out of fame and into the shadows of history for a few more centuries. In 1710, a French author wrote a story of Turandot. I don't know.
Okay.
It's about a Persian princess, but it was a much watered down version of Khutulun's tale.
Okay.
Instead of wrestling, Turandot would give suitors riddles to solve. It was turned into an opera in the early 1900s, where it was diluted even more when a take-no-shit badass finally gives in to love. Basically, like, We're gonna sing about how I'm too good for love, but then I fall into love.
Yeah, she fell in love, and all of a sudden
my life has changed,
and I'm no longer an independent thinking human being.
Exactly.
Ready to settle down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So her specialties, wrestling, archery, and riding horses, are still well known and revered in the land.
Mm-hmm.
The sports were so popular that they now represent the national sports of Mongolia. They're called the Nadam, which literally translates to games. Mm-hmm. There is a yearly competition for all of these things.
Yep. Okay.
She also influenced the world of fighting. Ever since her reign, only Mongolian men are allowed to wrestle.
Mm.
But while only men are allowed, they pay tribute to the memory of women in wrestling through specific actions and pieces of clothing. Quote, they wear a particular... You know what? Fuck it. Mm-hmm. You read this.
Oh.
Yay.
They wear a particular vest with long sleeves, but no shoulder covering, and a completely open front exposing the whole of the chest, thereby allowing each wrestler to be certain that his opponent is male.
Oh, that's some Freemason stuff.
At the end of each match, the winner stretches out his arms to display his chest again, and he slowly waves his arms in the air like a bird, turning for all to see, as if there are no flat-chested women in history that have just passed for being androgynous. Like, alright, it goes on. For the
Just
winner...
they're afraid of, she's coming back.
Oh my god. Her spirit, right? For the winner is a victory dance. Oh, for the winner, it is a victory dance, but it is also a tribute to the greatest female athlete in Mongolian history.
How is that a tribute?
It's like a Bizarro World tribute.
Yeah.
A wrestling
it's
princess.
It's a publicity tribute.
Yeah, a wrestling princess whom no man ever defeated. Wow.
So now men are the only ones allowed to wrestle.
You have tits, you can't wrestle. Sorry, get out.
They give you an advantage.
Prove it. Yeah,
We're
open
the
your
nipple
shirt and
police.
prove you're not a woman.
Yeah.
We're the nipple police.
The nipple
police.
It's not even the nipple police, because we all got nipples. It's just the breast police.
Yeah.
So what if there's like a big-chested dude, like he's been working out and he's got some pecs and like they...
Hey, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have a better time doing it the pants version.
Well, I'm a solid B cup over here, so I can't be competing, I guess, is what that means.
Yeah, you'd be out.
His tits are too
That's
glorious.
not fair.
Even with the beard.
Well,
you'd be like, no.
It's not enough. Get your tits out of here, big guy.
Get your tits out of here, big guy.
It's like Bob from Fight Club.
Oh, God. Haven't seen that in ages.
I know.
Meatloaf, R.I.P.
So, even when her story was forgotten, the traditions of clothing and actions are there to specifically show Khutulun was enough of a badass that she outlawed women in wrestling.
She
like,
scared
she was the
men
reason...
for generations.
Yeah,
for generations.
Let's dress like chicks, but not let them play.
For centuries and centuries. And so now Mongolians are some of the highest revered in the world and have even spread into neighboring nations. So, like, all of these people, but Mongolians are known for, like, that they fight.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that is something that you do learn. She's amazing.
Yeah. You said that last time, too.
I did, but, like, I can't think of other words. I have to find other words.
No, I love it. I want to hear that all the time.
No, I know, but it's just
I research these people knowing that.
bad that she's just like, I had to back down and give up my crown and my birthright. Not my birthright.
It just shows how smart she is, because do you really want the spotlight and the constant criticism of being the one in charge? Like,
yeah,
to me,
it's
like, live your life and do your thing without having to be the fucking martyr of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
yeah, that's one way of doing it. She left a mark, but I guess as part of me is like, it's easy for me to say that I would stand up and fight for that, but she proved herself already.
Yeah.
She could just wrestle. Just wrestle.
It's not worth it. I think she did the right thing.
Okay,
I think she saved herself a lot of trouble and a possible assassination.
Okay, well, that's true.
I mean, she might have gotten assassinated anyway.
Correct.
It might not have been good
Maybe
enough.
it prolonged it.
Yeah. Wow. I don't think I could wrestle very well.
It's not that hard. Having strong hands definitely helps.
I have big hands.
Modern
but not
Greco
strong.
wrestling is definitely interesting. I mean, jiu-jitsu is basically just wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my ex did jiu-jitsu, and he was very good at it. I was an unwitting dummy for many of his, like, practices.
It's like a human puzzle.
That's what
You're
he said.
You're literally just trying to put somebody in a position where you can, like, move their limbs into it. You're just trying to tie them in a pretzel.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Alright then. We did it.
We did it!
It was a nice short one.
Complete.
Yes. And now I have a better appreciation for, well, I was going to say wrestling.
Yep.
I ran out of words.
I ran out of words.
I ran out of words.
You know, 2 hours to talk, and I'll do that to you.
Do we have anything you guys want to share?
No, I'm just excited.
Yeah.
More than anything. I think I'm excited for our whichever next badass queen or terrifying mistress. I love it. How about you?
No, I just think there's a lot of avenues that we're going to explore, a lot of time machines we're going to get inside of, which is super fun. I'm just, there's a lot of possibilities that this holds, and all the storytelling is super fun. So I think more than anything, I'm just excited for how fun this is going to be.
Yeah. And once we all kind of get into a flow of it, it'll be much, much easier. You get into kind of a rhythm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
perfect. All right. Cool. So how do you normally do your outros? This has been, I don't know, a fucking podcast. A fucking podcast. We just say thanks and thank you. I'm not nearly as good at this as Kiri was, but perfect. Well then, thank you for listening. Thank you so much for sticking around. And this has been a fucking podcast. Bye. Bye.